Hi, Makané here, and I'm here to do our daily tarot reading. And today I decided to go with our archetypes deck. This beautiful deck I got at the Women Children First bookshop in Chicago. Hey to Chicago homies. This deck is really good for overarching themes in our lives. Archetypes are the collective unconscious energies that sort of show up when our course is being, I want to say directed, but it's more like guided by forces, because we are self-directed in this plane, in this life, as much as our awareness allows. So practicing ways of raising our awareness therefore helps us raise our inner self-directive, our inner compass, helps us to turn our own wheel of fate. And this is just sort of like this reading is about what we're contending with and what we need to get clear about as we move forward on our collective evolutionary path. And this deck, I usually don't shuffle this way, so I'm just doing it till I intuitively feel it's right. Okay, so here we have the river. This is very interesting because this card I just put back in the deck after keeping it out for a while. The book actually recommends that you keep the card in a place where you can look at it. So just thought that was curious. It's come up again. And I don't think that's that weird with this deck because archetypes are in our life until we've dealt with the energies. So just going to read from our book here. The stream, the flow, the current. There is a reason so many rituals of change and rebirth take place in the river. It is forgiveness embodied. In our physical form, we are often seeking forgiveness, and yet without asking anything in return, the river washes away what is no longer necessary, smoothing over sharp edges and accepting all our mistakes and grievances. You might remember yesterday's tarot I talked about taking a bath, taking a shower, washing away what is overwhelming to us, what is arising that we don't have containers for. So the river is a beautiful container. Both the meditating on visiting a river is really powerful, and the concept of time in certain parts of the winged serpent island, which is the South Americas as we know them. The river is seen as time itself, and when we're standing in the river, I think in Western culture, in our idea of time, we think of looking at where it's going, but in fact we're facing backwards. So our experience of time is standing in a river, looking back at all the water, like where it's coming, where it's arising from, and then where it goes, where we're not privy to, except through intuitive insight. That idea, that concept of experience, of the experience of time really resonated with me. So thinking back to my first encounter with a river was to put my feet in the icy river in Sacramento the Russian River is what it's called, and expecting it to be warm, I was wearing a swimsuit, and I remember dipping my toes in, and it just like numb, icy, sharp little knives. Just the river can be shocking in its intensity, and yeah, it's still very powerful. So we can sense its potency, especially in the chilly waters. Reading back in this book, it says here, the river carries us farther down the stream of transformation than we planned to go. Its waters have a special gift for reflecting back to us new and dreamlike visions. Once the tears have passed, we see ourselves as we haven't before, with a little more lightness, grace, and fluidity. Keep in mind that you that stands within the river is the real you, full of deep emotion and potential, nothing to hide, nothing to judge. May you drink in the sight of your true self. When light, acceptance, grace, reflection, forgiveness. When dark, torment of emotions, flooding, overwhelm. There's a beautiful song that it's called River, and whenever I play it, it just sort of like gently rocks my spirit someplace safe. I will leave a link in the comments below. Another comment of this card: you can only resist the river for so long. Eventually, it will pull you toward change, so you may as well get in with style and grace. Thinking about my first experience in the river, I had maybe had a little bit of style in my swimsuit. There was zero grace involved. It was shocking. It was overwhelming. It was more than I thought I could bear. If that's your experience, try to lean into style, like in terms of what do we do? What do we do well? Like reflecting power of the river. What is the essence of you, of who you are? That awareness can guide you. So you're leaning into your own strengths in the river and washing away the parts of you that are no longer necessary, the old patterns that are ingrained that you're ready to shed. Just let the water help you shed them. And this is through reflection. This is beautiful to do in journaling. And I mentioned dance as a beautiful container. Tears are really important. So not being afraid of them, but realizing that tears are the words that we can't say, that the emotions that go unexpressed find a way to relieve themselves. The beauty of this card to me is the invitation to be like the horse, to run with the river. So where those forgivenesses that are needed flow, like where that energy is flowing, let your heart go there. Follow that calling to cleanse, to reset, to heed that rushing, icy, tingly, or even just sorrowful energy, and let the river take you. I know this doesn't seem like there's a resolution, but there is. And this stone, I knew I was going to work with today, and that this is coming up in this reading because I feel like it actually kind of looks like the card. If you can catch the in the light, this does really cool things. This is a labradorite, and the reflection, the sort of flare that catches, has a bit of a rainbow energy. This card has a bit of a rainbow energy. So the stone is really useful for meditation, intuition, guidance, magic work, and all of these are really supportive right now, especially for those of us with this river energy. Those of us feeling overwhelmed or unexpected flood of emotion, need to forgive or release our mistakes, our past. The main power of the stone is integration. It's a powerful integrator. And integration is what heals us. It's what helps us move toward wholeness. And integration is also what is understood as meditation. So the precursor to meditation is like being able to start to want to open to just witnessing all, being present to all, or even not wanting, even going kicking and screaming, but being willing to open to all, witnessing all. And it's very helpful also to not treat this as a time to cave in, but to reach out to let others know that your heart needs some nourishment, that your cup is overflowing with sorrow or grief or remorse. But make sure those are trusted beings who have earned your vulnerability, who have earned to witness you in all your messiness. And the first people that we turn to sometimes are people that we're seeking validation from, and it's very important to ask, why am I seeking validation from this person? Do I place them on a pedestal? Am I seeking for them to sort of like wash away my sins for me? And do I see them as someone who has that power? Do I see them as someone who possesses a strength I don't have, and by sort of bowing down, do I expect to receive their support, their strength, some of their strength to then infuse in me? Like asking ourselves what we're really about, like getting really honest in where we seek forms of support or forgiveness or strength, and why might also help point the way toward the ones we really need, which are always the beautiful witnesses that don't try to overly direct, or that we don't see as above us, but just as true guides, true experiencers of the river. Anyone else going through this can help you navigate and remind you that it's your intuition that you must heed at all times, and your inner sense of wisdom that must be invited to arise. And if it really is truly blocked, then that's when we need our tribe, our solid, go to, like, I'm lost, like I really am without a guide. Like I've been there, so this is why I say, like, don't be shy to ask. And make sure you give yourself a safe container, a place to land. For me, this is always water, going to a beautiful still lake if it's available, the ocean, a river, and if nothing else, a beautiful bath with soothing music, nurturing crystals, mermaid rituals, and all the best that you can summon to say to yourself, all the kindness, all the heart wisdom that you would hope to get from that nurturing, reflective, placid self. May we meet her on the other side. Maybe we meet them on the other side as we traverse this river. Thank you for joining me today.